dating.
All right, I'm with Vanessa. I think it's all about bait and switch. I think people are getting just hung up on these topic titles.
And here's a tweet from Deanna Miller. Your panel is having difficulty discussing sex. Prime example for the need for the workshop.
I don't think you guys are having
I thought I was well versed in the topics at hand. I didn't.
You guys would not answer. You wouldn't answer the threesome question.
Yes, we did. I would answer. I was just caught off guard.
You definitely did, because I didn't ask you.
I would ask us if we had one, not have one with you.
Right.
I was wanting you to just go, here's how easy it is. No. That was my point.
Why do you need a seminar to?
I know. My point was, do you want a threesome? F no, you know, it's
these
like
students are 18 years old, 19 years old, and they might feel peer pressured into a threesome. And I think the reason for this education is to give them the parameters and to give them tools to be able to say no. And then therefore, then the others in the group know that that's not consent.
Negotiating no is a very important skill. So we focus on that in the high school age kids particularly. College age, not usually so much, because you expect them to know that by then.
And we can't have that expectation anymore.
Exactly.
We can't. And
well, not when they're drunk.
Right,
that's the main thing. I'm telling you, when they're drunk, all that goes away.
And I don't think a lot of girls, probably mostly, because I would think it's probably 2 girls and a guy, I would think in college, you know, if he tried to convince them. But to me, it's like with alcohol, I think that actually, you know, it makes the situation worse. It does take away your inhibitions, but even if you're feeling like maybe not, or you don't have you're not feeling strong enough to say no. I think let's teach about that, Dr. Drew.
They do know in the curriculum. They say that the alcohol, that you cannot legally give consent if you're inebriated.
Listen, I think I didn't really register my opinion, but I actually think it's probably a good thing they're doing in New Mexico. They just did it.
Well, I think the titles are a little off.
They should have.
I'm all for sex.
They make you go. Inviting.
Listen,
like, I'm interested. I want to take a course. Like I want to learn that.
Let me tell you 2 things. I was up at University of Oregon like 10 years ago, and they were trying to get a series together for men like this. And the only way they could get men to show up was to show these like very provocative images and go, come to this conversation, and then they would show. But the other thing was, the other thing I've learned is 2 things, which is that the girls are drinking on college campuses so they don't have any feelings during the hookups.
Right.
And so they can blame it so they don't feel shamed also. Right. The men are doing it so they don't feel so anxious, because they want to do this, but it's just a really tall order. They don't have feelings.
Right.
Already they don't have feelings.
You know, I think girls do want to have sex. I mean, when I was at it, but you're right. I think the shame part, or they don't want to be able to, they want to justify it by saying, oh, well, I was kind of drunk, so they don't want to be judged.
And they also, there's that.
But they want it too.
And they want to, of course, but they also want to be sure they don't have any feelings about the person they're being close with.
Well, people are so shamed nowadays when it comes to sex on college campuses that people feel shamed about it. There's a lot of slut shaming. There is. I read it on YouTube all the time. There's so much slut shaming that people aren't even getting tested because they fear that they will go on their campus and get caught getting tested. We need to address it. More dialogue, more education.
And thought is one of the biggest words out right now. So obviously there is that culture.
What? A thought.
That hoe over there.
What is that?
Like,
that hoe over there. Slut shaming.
Slut shaming. And like those things are popular now. We talked about Jada Pose on this show, where you have this young girl, and so many people on my Twitter timeline were like, well, she was just drinking, so it was her fault. And they don't know, these boys don't know that alcohol means no consent. They don't know that kind of stuff, and these classes teach it.
And then in many states they've converted the even more stringent requirements, that if somebody's drunk, by drunk I mean basically the same level of blood level alcohol that they would get a DUI for. They can't render consent, and that's rape.
Well, in California, they just passed yes means yes.
But we're gonna you have to say yes. You actually articulate it in California now. We're gonna run out of memory if you don't wrap this up.
We can keep this conversation going the whole time. Let us know what you think about sex week. Is it good just to get this conversation going? Leave a comment below.